Hello, everyone. I'm Hayden Guenzler,
And I'm Dani Marques.
and welcome to our very first Project Spotlight interview. In this series, we'll be interviewing students who are leading projects across their campuses, all to build a culture of collaboration and innovation amongst university students like us and y'all.
In this first episode, we'll be interviewing Folsom and Emily Kist from the University of Nebraska Lincoln, where they have raised a fund of $1 million to invest in startups in their ecosystem. We'll be bringing you this interview monthly, and we're really excited to bring you the first episode. So check it out.
Thank you, guys.
Hello and welcome everyone to our very first Project Spotlight with Emily Kist and Folsom, the co-founders of the Husker Venture Fund in Lincoln, Nebraska. I am Hayden Guenzler.
And I'm Dani Marques, and I'm so glad to have you guys with us. So in 1 minute each, can you tell us a little bit about you, why you're studying and why, a little bit about your work experience, and what is your go-to plan on a Friday night? And we can start with Emily.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having us. We're super excited to be here today. But my name is Emily Kist. I am currently a senior finance major at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. So graduation's coming up very soon. But I chose finance. Well, I originally started as an accounting major and pivoted after a few internship experiences and chose finance and was also exposed to the entrepreneurship scene. So I've really been exploring that blend between startup financing and being an entrepreneur through different club activities, work experiences, etc. So I currently work for a local angel organization in Lincoln called the Nebraska Angels. I've been doing that one for almost 3 years now. I've also worked in a couple other VC roles. And then this spring, I'm actually going to be a barista at a coffee shop. Figured I needed to squeeze that experience in before I graduate and go on to the real world. Yeah. And then last question, can you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah, what is your go-to plan on a Friday night?
That's tough. So it's usually like a coin toss between staying in and needing to like recharge my social battery, or I'll text my friends or my roommates and see what's going on. Maybe we'll go out or go see a movie or something like that. But just we all definitely need a way to unwind. Because usually our weeks are pretty packed, so that's usually the move. But
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. So up to you, Adam.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys again for having us here. I'm Folsom. I'm also a senior at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. I originally came into college as a business administration major with an entrepreneurship minor. Knew I wanted to do entrepreneurship, but kind of realized along the way that I wanted to find like a specific major since that's not offered at Nebraska. And so I went into finance. Some work experience that I've had, I worked at a hedge fund for 6 months. I've worked at a startup based in Minneapolis called Plyo. So if you work out a lot, go download the app Plyo. And then this past summer, I worked at a student loan provider called Nelnet, but I worked in their angel investing and venture capital department and still working right now. And then Friday nights, it kind of depends, but typically I'll just reach out to my friends. Usually we try to go out and get a dinner and then usually hit the bars a little bit later.
Nice.
Cool.
So you guys run the Husker Venture Fund. Could you guys give us in your words, what is the Husker Venture Fund?
Yeah, I can definitely take that one. So the Husker Venture Fund was designed to be an entirely student-led fund investing in early stage startups in Nebraska. So our goal is to provide a distinguished hands-on investment experience for our students while also helping connect the external startup community with our campus and bringing them together. Adam, I don't know if you want to talk about maybe our fund size and check sizes and things of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely. So originally our fund size our plan was to raise $250,000, and We've had some pretty big alumni on board with this, and we've been able to raise close to $1 million now. We'll be Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting. And we'll be investing $25,000 into each startup. We're getting pretty close to having a deal done here, actually, and getting the money through.
Nice.
It's our first one, so we're super excited. We have about 26 members, so 23 other members outside of our executive team that are students at UNL. We have a law student, we have undergrad, and we're still trying to build that out. And then we invest into, as Emily said, startups in Nebraska or based out of Nebraska, and UNL alumni as well.
Awesome. Wow, that's crazy how you guys, because it started in about a year, right?
Yeah, it took about a year.
Yeah, it's crazy how you guys like got such a big fund size and how much like has pivoted along the way. It's really cool to like understand how you guys got so many people on board. Congratulations for that. That's awesome. Definitely not easy to do that in school. So with all the classes and everything, congratulations. That's awesome. And I wanted to ask, well, like, where did that idea come from?
Yeah, the idea came about a year or two ago when I had my first introduction to venture capital in general. So prior to that, my whole world was accounting. And I got a job opportunity with the Nebraska Angels, like I mentioned before.
Oh, no.
And then also got the same role that Adam mentioned with Nelnet doing venture capital. And so there were a very limited number of internship opportunities in this space in the state of Nebraska for our students. So it's really difficult to get exposure to the space. So when I was working both of those jobs, I started looking into like campus organizations to see if anything existed with other students that were interested in VC, and didn't really find anything, but I found a ton of other university VC programs across the country and across the globe, right? So I was like, oh, people are actually doing this. Other schools have actual funds where they're making investments. And so I started having some conversations with people both inside our university ecosystem and also some external community members as well. And I was like, is this something that we could do, should do? And there was an overwhelming response of yeses, like, yes, this would be awesome to see. And so later, right after that summer, Adam and I were actually introduced on LinkedIn. And we were both interested in VC, and we're like, hey, we should just meet up. And so we went and got coffee, and I was like, hey, I've been toying around with this idea. What do you think? Do you want to help me? And of course, his answer was yes, let's do it. Let's get it. And so it kind of blossomed from there. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, Adam.
Now, so we both were introduced to VC compared to most students at Nebraska. I have no idea what it is. And so Emily was like the one person that I knew on campus that had experience and knew what it was. And so when I reached out to her, I was like, I had some sort of idea coming into like what I think Nebraska needed, and she kind of pitched this to me. I was like, I need to hop on board with this. And we just reached out to the right people at the right time.
Yeah,
there was I like how you said, go ahead, sorry. I like how you said like there wasn't many opportunities for you guys in the area. So like you literally created an opportunity for people to get so much exposure to this, awesome field of VC.
Yeah, that was entirely the goal. And I mean, like we couldn't do it all ourselves. Everything moved very quickly, like way faster than we could have anticipated. And that was because we just had the right people that shared our vision. So
that's awesome.
Gotcha.
So through the creation of this project, has there been any like roadblocks? And if so, could you guys kind of explain, how you overcame those roadblocks to create such a quality project that has so many people on board?
That's a great question. There's always roadblocks anytime I feel like you try to start anything. And I think, we were pretty well equipped for that. And Adam and I work so well as a team that usually most things that come our way, we can tackle on our own. But there's been a few times where we've had to reach out to advisors or just some of our personal mentors and be like, hey, what what should we do here? Like, we've never encountered this before, but I think just going into something and knowing that, yeah, there's going to be problems that you have to deal with just already sets you up for success if you're prepared.
I would say one of the biggest like examples that I could give that I can think off the top of my head is when we were going into building the actual structure for students to be involved within Husker Venture Fund. We kind of didn't know how it was going to look, and I mean, it still could change next year since this is just the first year in operation. But we had no idea how this wanted to look, and so we went through like an interview process with people, and we were originally going to have like a selective team, and then we kind of were pitched the idea from one of our advisors that this should be like a holistic thing and an inclusive thing, bringing everyone to give just general exposure to venture, and then we could build out from there on how our structure was. And so instead of having a very selective group, we pretty much let anyone who's interested in venture or in venture capital to come talk to us, see if they're the right fit, and if they are, they can come into the program and then build up from there, similar to like a typical VC firm structure.
Awesome. That's super cool. Just to give a little background to who's listening, I actually met Emily and Adam through a VC organization that is also student-led called Undercover VC, in which students from all over the US and now Canada as well, we try to democratize the access to VC that, as you guys said, is so hard if you go to those underrepresented schools. It's hard to get plugged in, it's hard to get involved. So it's awesome to see people doing that and seeing people doing that like countrywide, because I remember when I was going through that, when I was like really interested about VC and I tried to get like my friends involved, and they like pretty much didn't know what it was. And I was like, man, we're studying finance. Like I would love to like get more people involved. And then that's how like we became closer too. So it's really cool to see that happening in other schools. So, so I wanted to ask you guys, so what's next for up to you guys? I think you guys are graduating soon. So what's the plan, and give us a little bit of what you guys are thinking.
Adam, you go first.
A big question. I mean, I think I can speak for both of us that we're still trying to figure it out. I mean, I know that we both definitely want to go into like the VC space or some sort of similar accelerator startup role. I'm currently in the recruiting process for VC firms, as well as some of the bigger accelerators. So I'll be doing that for the next couple months. And I mean, hopefully I figure something out here within the next 2 months or so. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now, Emily.
Yeah, same here. Adam and I have both been kind of going through the job searching process. So if anyone's hiring, follow us on Twitter, DM us, let us know. But yeah, I think we'll stay in the space for sure.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, and kind of going off of that, that's really awesome, like what you guys have done through school. And a lot of like the people that are watching to us are like either like freshmen or sophomores. What is like some word of advice from our experienced seniors here that you would give to people coming in that are either interested in VC or just that side of business that is like more early stage?
Great question. I guess a piece of advice I wish that I would have had, well, one, I wish I would have had exposure rather than having to like stumble into VC on my own. But I feel like all of us kind of have that unique story, especially in Undercover VC. We all feel like it's a very difficult community to navigate until you're in.
Yeah.
But my advice would be to just say yes and look for opportunities, you know, really explore. And if it's not for you, then move on to the next thing, because I feel like a lot of us, we do become yes people, and then it's really hard for us to quit or to leave or something. But it's like, if it's not serving you, leave it and go find the next best thing. Obviously leave on good terms though. So that's my advice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. I mean, you're gonna hear this 1,000 times, but if especially if you're like incoming freshman or getting involved in something new, like just go get involved and go get connected. I mean, reach out to people. I've learned this from doing it myself, but people love talking to college students. And if you're a college student, you have the upper hand. So just reach out to anyone and everyone and say, I'm a college student. I want to learn more about you. Or I know someone that knows you and I'd love to get connected. Like, let's get coffee. Let's have a Zoom chat. Just go out there and put yourself out there. Like, the worst that can happen is either someone says no or it's pushed back. But at least your name is getting out there. And if you're meeting other people, they'll connect you to the right places. So that's like the one thing that I've learned and has taken me to where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna add more advice. I think every week Adam and I are reminded by our advisors that we have so much leverage as students. Most of our fundraising happened just because we're students and we had a cool story to tell. Like the content of your idea doesn't always necessarily matter. They just want to see you succeed. So take advantage of that while you can.
That's awesome. Yeah, a big piece of what we're trying to do with this project and with these journals is promote like collaboration among college students like us. And so I think it's so cool during this conversation, like Dani and I are connected through a project, you two are connected through a project, and then, you know, Dani and you guys are connected through a project. And it just feels like this big, you know, community of just like the next, I like to say like the next generation of business leaders. Because I mean, we're, you know, 20, 21, 22, and it's like, we're the ones entering the field. And, you know, as venture, you know, you're the ones deciding what the future is, like what's the next hot business stuff. So it was great talking to you guys. I had a blast. I'm super excited to see the future of Husker Venture Fund. Wish you guys well. Again, I'm Hayden Guenzler.
Yeah, and I'm Dani Marques, and this was the first M&G Project Spotlight interview. Thank you so much for coming, guys. We really appreciate y'all.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.